Bungou Stray Dogs Episode 2, A Certain Bomb. I knew that this entire bomb trouble used to be once going to be a test, seeing as how the orange-haired man and the opposite woman are within the opening with the opposite characters. I knew they weren't going to be dangerous. But of direction this used to be once all a experiment for Atsushi to cross, and it was once still funny and entertaining to detect. It's day after today of the movements that passed. Atsushi wakes up in a futon, in Aidi's little room. This is the predominant time in an extraordinarily very long time that he slept with a roof over his head, and he was as soon as completely happy. But immediately he was once scared with a loud ringtone from a telephone by means of utilizing his pillow. Scrambling to get it open and fairly be trained the right manner to use it, it's Dazai. This man just right. He tells him Atsushi is within the dorm and that there are clothes there next to him given by utilizing the company. He then tells Atsushi that there's an emergency. He tells Atsushi to get dressed and to hurry out of his location. And the emergency was once that Dazai bought himself stuck in an oil barrel. Tried killing himself once more. However, he made a mistake and was once rather doing a torture system. Enough. The two sit down outside and speak, and Atsushi has a lot of things in his mind. He is aware of the people at the Armed Detective Agency are strong and proficient. Nonetheless, he doesn't believe himself like that. He's concerned that he'll easily get in the way and where of every person within the company, considering that he has no concept be taught learn how to manipulate his vigor. So he needs to opt for out of being within the agency and needs to get an additional job. A job that he could control even along with his vigor of changing into a detrimental tiger at night time. Nonetheless, seeing as how he doesn't have contacts and keeping a watch on his little venture, discovering a job in all likelihood very intricate for him. So Dazai offers to take him to anyone that'll provide him a job. We get an extraordinarily humorous scene subsequent the place Dazai and Atsushi are strolling in town, going to the location Dazai promised. Correct when he says he's the most accountable and powerful person on the Enterprise, Kunikida runs over to them and says the unique reverse. After which he pulls out his little pocket publication and reads out all the complaints Dazai has got. And that I located this phase certainly hilarious because Dazai read them within the complaints of the contributors that known as, and Dazai introduced up how potent he was once at it. So even as Kunikida is choking Dazai, he mentions there's a massive emergency at their ward, with someone with a bomb taking anyone hostage of their situation of work. At this news, they go. After they arrive, we see a schoolgirl tied up with a man sitting on a desk with a far-flung in his hand and a bomb subsequent to him. From what we got, he looked as if it would have had a character grudge with the ward. Dazai and Kunikida make a determination who's going to calm this guy. And when Kunikida goes as much as the person, they become aware of that this man has researched the persons within the ward and is conscious of their names and capabilities. So with Atsushi there, he was the one to at the least stall the person from blowing up the function. And this section was so rattling funny. The "should you die, then you definitely are above all useless" line killed me. Atsushi's act of being a worthless individual was so humorous, with the truth that he was once further worried about himself than the fellow and the opposite persons round them that could have gotten killed, like him no longer having a roof over his head anymore, or tea with rice. After discovering a method to hold down the guy however messing up, Atsushi ran to the bomb and protected his physique with it, being all set to sacrifice himself to kill every individual. Nonetheless, of path this was once all a scan with the aid of the president of the agency, who had this scan performed to look if Atsushi could become part of the company. As he's on a desired document, the president desired to look if he would move the scan. And he did, and now without an extra option, now understanding he's desired, he joins. I knew the entire time the two actors had been a part of the organization as a result of the whole. Not basically the most thrilling episode, however very humorous. What was cool although was once that we purchased to see what Kunikida's ability was once. Dopo Poet, is an ability where I assume he writes down whatever on a component of paper, rips the net web page, and definitely makes the article he wrote out of nothing. He had made a gun, which was as soon as relatively cool. I thought Dazai's potential was up, however Kunikita's can be up too, although I'm guessing there will also be limits. Like I don't think he'd be able to summon a tank. Both he can't or that it'd take an excessive amount of time. Nevertheless, very cool. Finally, we got a glimpse of the black-haired guy from the op-ed, who I'm guessing has some type of connection to Atsushi. Long misplaced brother, most likely? Probably.